I've used all three daily for 6 months. GitHub, Copilot, Cursor, and Claude Code. Not weekend demos, not quick tutorials. Real production work, real deadlines, real frustration. And I'm going to tell you exactly where each one wins, where each one fails, and which one I actually reach for when the pressure is on. This isn't a sponsored video. Nobody paid me to say anything. I bought all three subscriptions with my own money, and I've been running them side by side on the same projects to give you the most honest comparison I can. We're doing 8 rounds today: code-based understanding, code generation, refactoring, debugging, speed, cost, learning curve, and automation. By the end, you'll know exactly which tool fits your workflow, or whether you need more than one. Let's get into it. Before we compare anything, you need to understand that these three tools are fundamentally different paradigms. They're not three versions of the same thing. GitHub Copilot is an autocomplete engine. It lives inside your editor, watches what you type, and predicts the next line. It's fast, it's invisible, and it's always there. Think of it as a very smart pair programmer who finishes your sentences. Cursor is an AI native editor. It took VS Code, forked it, and rebuilt it around AI from the ground up. Chat, composer mode, tab completions, inline edits. The AI isn't bolted on, it's woven into every interaction. Your editor is the AI tool. Claude Code is a terminal agent. No GUI. You type a prompt, and it reads your files, searches your code base, runs commands, writes code, and commits changes. It's an autonomous loop. You describe what you want, and it figures out how to get there. 3 completely different philosophies. Keep that in mind. Round 1. You have a bug report. Users are getting 403 errors on the upload endpoint. You need to figure out why. With Copilot, you're on your own. You open files, you search manually, and Copilot might help you write the fix once you find it, but it doesn't know what's in files you haven't opened. Its context is limited to your current tab and a few neighbors. Cursor is better. The code-based indexing lets you ask questions about your project, and it does a decent job pulling relevant files, but it's capped by context window size. On a large monorepo, it starts missing things. Claude Code wins this round outright. It actively searches your entire repository. It grabs, it reads, it grabs, it reads, it follows imports. When I asked it about that 4.3 bug, it found the exact line in a middleware file I hadn't opened in weeks. No manual searching, no context stuffing, it just went and found it. Round 2. Writing new code, building a feature from a description. This is where Cursor shines brightest. Composer mode lets you describe what you want, and it generates code across multiple files with inline diffs. You see exactly what's being added, what's being changed, and you can accept or reject each piece. The visual review experience is genuinely the best in any AI coding tool right now. Claude Code generates code too, and it's often higher quality because it has more context. But you're reviewing changes through Git diff or reading terminal output. There's no inline diff UI. It works, but it's less pleasant. Copilot is best for flow state coding. When you're in the zone and you know what you're building, it finishes your lines before you think of them. But for generating entire features from a description, the chat panel works, but it's not in the same league as Composer. Round 3. You need to rename a service across your entire code base, update all imports, fix all the tests, and make sure nothing breaks. Claude Code dominates here. I gave it a single prompt: rename user service to all service across the entire repo and fix all imports. It searched every file, made the changes, ran the tests, and committed. One prompt, 50 files, done. This is where the agent model pays for itself. Cursor's Composer can handle multi-file refactors, but in my experience, it starts struggling around 15 to 20 files. It loses track of what it already changed or misses references in config files. You end up babysitting it through the process. Copilot has no cross-project refactoring capability. It can help you edit the file you're looking at, but it can't reach into other files. For large-scale refactors, you're doing it manually with find and replace and hoping for the best. Round 4. Debugging. A test is failing and you don't know why. This is where Claude Code's agentic loop becomes magic. You paste the error, or just say the auth tests are failing. It runs the test suite, reads the output, traces the error to source, reads the relevant files, proposes a fix, applies it, reruns the tests, and confirms they pass, all in one interaction. I've watched it solve bugs in under 60 seconds that would have taken me 20 minutes of printf debugging. Cursor is good when you manually paste the error into chat. It'll explain it, suggest a fix, and let you apply it inline. But it can't run the tests itself. It can't verify the fix. You're still the one executing and checking. Copilot can explain error messages if you ask, and it might suggest a fix in chat. But it has no execution environment. It can't run, verify, or iterate. You're doing all the legwork. Round 5. Raw speed and staying in flow. Copilot wins this round and it's not close. Tap to accept, no context switch, no waiting for an agent to think. You're writing code and it's completing your thoughts in real time. For everyday coding, boilerplate, test stubs, obvious patterns, nothing is faster. It's like autocomplete on steroids. Cursor is nearly as fast for inline edits. Campbell's K to describe a change, and it appears in seconds. Tab completions are snappy. The context switch cost is very low because you never leave your editor. Claude Code is the slowest per interaction. You type a prompt, you wait for the agent loop. It reads, it searches, it thinks. A simple request might take 30 seconds, a complex one might take 5 minutes. But here's the paradox. One Claude Code prompt can replace 20 manual steps. It's slower per turn but faster per task. Round 6. Money. Let's talk real numbers. GitHub Copilot is $10 a month for individuals, $19 for business. There's a free tier for students and open source contributors. For what you get, it's the cheapest option by far. Cursor is $20 a month for Pro. That gets you 500 fast requests. There's a free tier with limited completions. If you're a heavy user, you might hit the cap before month end, but for most developers, it's enough. Claude Code is included in the max plan at $20 a month. Or you can use it with API credits, which is usage-based. And this is where it gets spicy. A heavy coding session on the API can cost $5 to $15 in a single day. If you're using Opus for complex tasks, the tokens add up fast. Copilot wins on value. Claude Code can be the most expensive by far. Round 7. How long until you're productive? Copilot, 5 minutes. Install the extension, start typing, see suggestions appear. Your grandmother could use it. It's invisible by design, and that's its superpower. Zero configuration, zero learning, immediate payoff. Cursor, 1 to 2 days. It's a new editor, but it's built on VS Code, so the muscle memory transfers. The AI features Composer, Composer.k, Chat take a bit of experimentation to learn when to use which. But within a week, you'll wonder how you coded without it. Claude Code, 1 to 2 weeks to really master. It's terminal only, no buttons, no menus. You need to learn prompt engineering, understand the permission system, set up your clau.u.damned file, figure out when to use. The power ceiling is the highest of any tool here, but the skill floor is also the highest. Round 8. Automation and CI/CD. Can the tool work without you sitting there? Claude Code wins this round decisively. Headless mode lets you run it in scripts. You can pipe it into GitHub Actions to automatically review pull requests, fix lint errors, or generate documentation on every push. It was built from day one to work in pipelines. The -p flag, JSON output, non-interactive mode, this is first-class automation. Copilot is growing here. Copilot in the CLI exists, and GitHub is adding PR summaries and automated suggestions directly in the GitHub UI. It's not as powerful as Claude Code for custom automation, but the ecosystem is catching up fast. Cursor has no CI/CD story at all. It's a desktop editor. There's no headless mode, no API, no way to run it in a pipeline. If automation matters to you, Cursor simply isn't in the conversation. So after 8 rounds and 6 months, here's what I actually use. Claude Code for architecture and debugging. Anytime I need full code base understanding, hunting a bug across 50 files, planning a migration, doing a large refactor, Claude Code is the tool. It thinks at the project level, not the file level. Nothing else comes close for these tasks. Cursor for feature building. When I'm in the zone and writing new code, Composer mode plus inline diffs is the best experience. I see exactly what the AI is proposing. I accept or reject per hunk, and I never leave my editor. For writing new features, Cursor is my daily driver. Copilot for everything else, it's always running in the background. Boilerplate, test stubs, obvious patterns, tab, tab stub, is tab. The cost of keeping it on is so low, and the micro assists add up so much that turning it off would feel like removing autocomplete from my keyboard. The right answer is not one tool, it's knowing when to reach for which. And that wraps not just this episode, but the entire series. 7 episodes from installation to power user automation to dishonest comparison. If you missed any of them, episode 1 is the overview and install. Episode 2 covers CSDOD and the RDN, project memory. 3 is plan mode and hooks. 4 is MCP servers 5D, is mode and hooks. 4 is MCP servers CI/CD. And this episode number 7 is the comparison you just watched. Every episode is linked in the description and in the pinned comment. If you found this series useful, the best thing you can do is share it with a developer friend who's trying to figure out which AI coding tool to pick. Subscribe if you haven't. I've got more deep dives coming on developer tools, AI workflows, and building real things with these tools. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.